is Michael Hernandez, and I'm part of Antifa, and I'm coming to get you! Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Michael Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, you like the books that I talk about, or maybe you just love the silky smooth sound of my voice, well, what you can do is you can follow me on Twitter, I'm on Parler, or you can subscribe to my videos. Make sure you hit that little bell on that YouTube comment, because I'm on YouTube and I'm on Rumble, so you can subscribe to my videos. It'll let you know whenever any of my new content comes up, and more importantly, let's talk about it. The whole point of these videos is to get you reading books and talking about them, get us all into this big book reading family. Leave a comment right below to let me know what you think, and let me know if there's any books you want me to cover, and I'll be happy to mention them on the show. So today we're going to take a look at a just mind-blowing book that I just finished reading. I'm very happy I just finished it because now I get to share it with you. Today we're going to take a look at Unmasked by Andy Ngo. Ngo is a Portland-based journalist who has written for multiple prestigious newspapers, including the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, and Newsweek. Personally, Andy Ngo blew up in 2019, really. He was a journalist before that, but he really hit the roof in 2019 after being viciously beaten by Antifa members during a Portland riot, because that's where he's based. He was trying to cover the riot. Things got really dicey, and he took quite a beating, and a lot of it was caught on film. So the book itself details the origins, the methods, and the spread of this self-proclaimed anti-fascist movement. All right, we are going to get into our three-part criteria, and number one, let's look at the aesthetics. The cover is excellent. It's a great use of limited color. It's got one dominant color. It's just red, boom, comes right out at you, and then you have got black and white emphasis. Really good. The title is big, it's clear, it pops right off the shelf. The figure there is menacing, and so immediately after your eye goes to the title, it gets pulled down to the sinister-looking figure walking and kind of giving you the side eye. Just, I see you. Pretty creepy, but I love it. The one caveat about this title here, the cover is it has this little quote here by Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson tells me to read this book. Well, let me tell you something, Tucker Carlson. Don't you ever tell me what to do. I'm gonna read this book. And I read it, and I loved it, but don't you tell me to read this book. Don't you ever tell me what to do. Don't you ever tell me how to live my life again, Tucker. Other than that, I love it. It's a fantastic cover. I'm going to rate it a very strong 9 out of 10. All right, let's take a look at the readability. The book moves very quickly. It breaks down each topic very well and explains everything as if you're an outsider to politics and all kinds of political movements. So he definitely explains it well and makes it easy to read and understand, even if you're a layman to all of this. It's vivid, it's colorful, which helps really keep your interest, and there's well-timed photos too that help emphasize the point he's making. Let me see if I can find one. Boom, right there. Look how quick I was. Isn't that impressive? There's some good photos there, and the cool thing about the photos themselves is those were actually taken by him. So all this is his reporting here. That makes it interesting. As far as the pages go, cream-colored pages with clear font. I think as far as the readability goes, it's overall phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Boom! Now let's take a look at the content. It's highly detailed, thoroughly researched, and impressively informative. You learn about how Antifa started, how it got its roots, what is the origin story of Antifa. One thing that I found was really surprising, that is that this whole anti-fascist movement is about 100 years old. It came out of Europe, it germinated through the soccer and punk rock cultures and evolved with mixes of Marxism and anarchism, and then when it came to the US, it kind of really picked up steam in the critical race theory, that the racial politics style. The reason for that, he explains, is America had kind of a natural wariness for Marxism. We weren't too familiar with fascism because it was all pushed overseas. We were wary about Marxism through the Soviet Russia. And also when it came to class warfare with Marxism, it really wasn't successful here in the United States. Our classes have been able to move up and down. People as individuals move up and down the ladder. So the Marxism part didn't really take root, but with racial history, America has plenty of that. So that was really able to germinate effectively and spread viciously through American culture. So Andy Ngo makes this very, very informative, and you learn a lot about how Antifa operates, how they recruit people, how they even scout people. They look for potential talent, get them, recruit them, go through this thorough vetting process to make sure they are absolutely pure blood. It's scary. And then they educate them in their ideology, and then they become radicalized, similar to what you would see in terrorist groups like ISIS. It's staggering that it's happening here on our shores. And once trained and radicalized, they're sent out to be signaled to riot at a moment's notice. And it's all funded and it's prepped by an entire syndicate of organized crime and legal protection by politicians. This is terrifying stuff to know that this is happening in our country, and it's very eye-opening when you read it. So one of the things that I really do appreciate about Andy Ngo when he writes this book is that he does put his some of his personal experience, because he was a reporter on the ground. He's one of the few people that was consistently hitting Antifa with reports and evidence. But as far as his personal backstory, I find it really annoying when people put their personal story at the very front, their bio, where they came from, where they found their inspiration. He takes that and pushes it to the very end. And that I really like, because he gets to the emphasis of the story first. The story is what's important. And then, if you're interested, here's a little bit of his roots, why he appreciates the freedoms that we have here in America, the freedom of the press, the democracy that we have formed, why his parents were immigrants from Vietnam. They saw up close these vicious societies where they didn't have this democracy. They didn't have a democratic republic and representative government. It was horrifying stuff. And so his parents actually truly appreciate it, and they instill this appreciation in him. There are a couple typos, although that's not very unusual with books that are covering stuff within a 1 to 2 year time span. If it's recent stuff and it's pushed out relatively quickly, there's going to be a couple typos. I think I found maybe 2 or 3. That's not too bad, nothing too big. But as far as the content goes, the content is stellar. It is sterling. So I'm going to rate it a very strong 9 out of 10. I highly recommend this book. I think it's fantastic. Andy Ngo does great work. He should keep it up out there in Portland. You can find this book at Barnes & Noble. You can find it at Books A Million in any local bookstore. And if all else fails, go out and catch it on Amazon.com. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go read something.